Alright, Jack. So, what trifle have you been wasting your father's money on now, Jack? What does it look like? It looks like a virginal. A harpsichord, actually, in the Flemish style. Quite old. Quite expensive. Well, I suppose I should be grateful that something is distracting you from the occult for once. I fear you may be speaking too soon, my friend. Oh, God, I should have known, you and your silly obsession. So what devilry inhabits this magnificent instrument? The instrument as a whole is, for the most part, untainted by the ethereal realm. But its keys are what spark my interest. Unusually, they have been carved from centuries-old English oak. And that's the interesting part? I will not be disheartened by that sharp tongue of yours. The wood has gone through many incarnations before being incorporated into this device. Items of furniture, building material. In fact, just over 200 years ago, it was part of a wall. A wall of a certain inn on a well-traveled road in Wales. Unicorn? I'm so pleased you remember. I could hardly forget it the way you have been obsessing quite heartily over it of late. Your correspondents persist in filling your head with rubbish about ghosts and demons. I count myself very lucky to have tracked down even a small piece of that hostelry. I know I've already told you some of the wonderful stories attached to it. And this instrument has had its fair share of mysterious happenings. The usual batches of strange noises, sudden madness, and inexplicable deaths. See sense, my friend. This curiosity of yours for all things ungodly has no doubt already befouled your immortal soul. You are a fine fellow, Wilbur, but you have not a drop of romance in your body. Now stop browbeating me for my inquiring mind, and let us take dinner. Let me just go ahead and turn this up a bit. This is important. Gotta make sure you hear this really loud and clear. Curious. I have my system volume mixer down or open to act as like a mute thing for the whispers and what have you, and it's auto-adjusting down as if it doesn't do this with... What are you doing, Jilby's notes? Oh my god! My computer knows the name of the king. I just saw it sliding down lower and lower before my eyes. That was... It doesn't do that with any other program. An Adventure Game Studio quirk, perhaps? Hold on, then. All because I wanted you folks to listen to this harpsichord. Gotta... let's make this a little bit louder. A little bit louder. Louder. At night, Jack was stirred from his bed by the sound of music emanating from his new instrument. His first thought was anger, mostly because the harpsichord was an antique, never intended to be played. But then he listened to the haunting, melancholy tune and felt his stomach roll inexplicably with fear. Who's down there? Wilbur, is that you? My god, it auto-adjusted again? It's gotta be a quirk with this Adventure Game Studio thing. It doesn't want to be loud and proud. Okay. We've had our moment. Let me adjust the volume back to where I've had it setting in the past. I'm going to move you back to where you are, or should be, volume mixer. I'm going to close you. Never going to happen again, right? Jack Freehorn was a man of modest means and desired little for comfort. The only pieces of furniture to speak of were a bed and a desk. Look, bed. A low and expensive double bed. It having recently been used, the sheets were in some disarray. Go back to sleep. Sleep. Jack couldn't do that just then. Go back to bed. Go to bed. Jack would never be able to sleep while that music was playing through the house. Jack's desk was covered untidily in letters, notes, and papers he had been studying lately. A flintlock pistol given to Jack by his father lay gathering dust atop a pile of correspondence. Read correspondence. Read letters. A disorganized collection of writings pertaining to the occult, particularly the strange events that surrounded the Unicorn Inn, the 16th century. Look, pistol. It was an old pistol, never once used, but Jack always kept it loaded. Take pistol. Jack took the gun with him to confront the intruder. Shoot self. Jack saw no reason to engage in violence. Okay. Sparsely furnished room below Jack's bedroom was dominated now by his new harpsichord. The same instrument was now being tormented at the spindly hands of the emaciated intruder. The tall man was playing a haunting melody on the harpsichord. Except for his hands, his body was completely still. Jack knew that any attempt to interact with the creature could spell disaster. You won't take me, demon! Wilbur? No. Oh God, no! But I could have sworn... You. I know you. You have... Oh, God. Please forgive me, your majesty, for my transgressions. I am a worthless, craven fool, not worth a second of your precious time. I beg you, spare me. I will redeem myself for my offense. I will be yours forever, my body, mind, and soul. And the whispers end. Thank you, my lord. Thank you. Identified himself as one Jack Freehorn. This may well have been the same Jack Freehorn who went on to perform a bizarre religious cult. A depraved group of paganist worshippers who were spoken of with much derision by conventional society. With my latest flashback, my knowledge of the history of the Cursed Wood gained another step. Before the crate, it had been a harpsichord, and some time before the harpsichord, it had been part of some kind of hostelry in Wales. An inn called the Unicorn. Why did that ring a bell somewhere in my recent memory? I definitely seen something in the Clan Bronwyn Hotel that was linked to that place. But where? Siobhan? So, up to this point, with the painting and the chisel, we've touched objects that have, like, an indelible imprint on them, like psionic energies from the ethereal realm or what the fuck ever. But there we were just touching historical notes, and we got teleported off to a magical place. What's going on, Trilby? Hold on, let me look at a few things here. Yeah, it's... that was just for that specific segment. It's fucking odd. It's fucking eerie. Okay, tall man. He's kind of pissed after what happened last video. Want some revenge. Okay. Well, I hear you out, and we're gonna save the game. Yeah. Victim 3, Freehorn. The third man who desired judgment was Freehorn, who had bought from those who made luxuries with the wood that was the prince's soul. The prince came and struck down the lover of Freehorn. And Freehorn knew the name of the king. And Freehorn said, I know you now, O prince who was the arrogant man, and I anticipate your wish, and I will devote myself to spreading the teachings you have brought me, and the love of our king. And the prince was satisfied, and Freehorn called all those who would listen, and they formed an order of blessed agonies that would work to redeem the follies of the men of technology. I don't know whether I appreciate 8 years ago just how delicious of a name the Order of Blessed Agonies is. And again, this is the same person who thought that the sound of Barry Chahal snapping Angela's neck was delicious, so, I may be twisted in some fashion. Okay. Are you in a bed? No. It's good. I took another pill and waited for the anxiety to lift, but it did not. To my unending concern, I realized that the decay of the alternate hotel had spread, either to me or the pills, and they no longer worked. I had to find a way to restore their effect, or at least another method of calming myself. Well, you know what that means. There's no longer any rules. There's no hindrances. Drink cola, baby. I took a swig of the beverage. I could almost feel the caffeine starting to heat up my brain. Woo! Fuck yeah! Do 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 do. Jingle was not appropriate for this horrific situation. From somewhere to the west, I heard the familiar sound of a door being unlocked. Feels like the sounds have more detail in them than they once did, and that's actually kind of unsettling. Lakeman? Lakeman, wait! Open door. He unlocked the kitchen door for us. How thoughtful of him. What had once been a kitchen was now some kind of torture room. I found myself wondering whether it was used for extracting information, or merely to entertain the alternate hotel's hellish proprietor. Look. Orbs. A horribly tormented soul was still lying on the central counter, limbs arranged oddly from spasms of agony. There was an interesting imprint of blood on the north wall, suggesting that some flayed victim had been hurled against it. Yes, interesting, that's the appropriate word. Of course. Take knife. Could not bring myself to touch the implements. Look, stove. Okay, I don't like how wet and throbbing these sounds are now. Alright, you need to fucking calm down, game. As he just adjusts his headset down lower and lower. The oven, the sole remnant of the kitchen's former usage, was stained from the inside with desperate handprints. Look, window. The sole window looked out on an orange-tinted backyard in a state of advanced disrepair. Open door. The emergency door refused to budge. It appeared to be jammed. Great. Great. Look, door. 3 doors, a door back to the dining hall, fire exit, and a third destroyed door, beyond which stone steps led downward. Open this destroyed door. Hello, darkness, my old friend. The grimy cellar had been abandoned for some time. A large section of floor was worn away. The worn-down area had been conquered by a swarm of greasy, black beetles. Look, beetles. Each was about the size of a child's fist. It's still great. Still wonderful. Still delightful. They scuttled back and forth across the floor, slipping in and out of heavy cracks in the foundations. Looking at them made me feel quite nauseous. Look, bot corpse. At least 2 individuals had met with sticky ends down here. One of them had been almost completely picked clean by the beetles. The other? The other I noticed was heavily decayed except for its hand, which was fresh and pink. I wonder if this had something to do with the puddle of water it was lying in. We're just going to save the game, yes. I didn't show off the death of the tall man. Certainly can die there. Certainly don't intend to show off everything forever throughout all these runs. But maybe my revisits combined with the originals, you could see some action, but I think for old time's sake. Jump! Okay. This concludes the text of the notes found in the Clan Bronwyn Hotel on August 4th by an SCP-S investigative team. At time of writing, Trilby remains missing in action. Of course, that's not how it could go down. Otherwise, how is he supposed to write that damn letter? Yeah. Give meat to beetles. Yep, there's plenty there for you folks. Look, beetles. Insects were too busy fighting each other for a mouthful of the rancid flesh to notice me. Glad they didn't immediately, like, hop onto, like, Trilby's hand and fucking pounce on him. Speaking of hand, at least 2 individuals had met their end here. Look, puddle. In the far corner of the room was a puddle of water created by drips from above. It had a curious color to it. The drops seemed to glow with their own illumination. The liquid was having a strange effect on a nearby corpse. Look, water. Drink water. It was almost as if the water was drawing me to it. Not like a scrabbling thing in my mind like the chisel of the painting, but more like a beckoning siren. Like the scuttling of giant beetles. Scarabs that can devour every... Okay! What? Yeah, you couldn't help yourself. Couldn't drink from the water dripping up to you from above, but okay, it's fine. Crouched down and dipped my hand in. It felt uncommonly refreshing, and brought an amount up to my lips. My unhygienic surroundings forgotten. There you go. As a pleasant feeling of simultaneous coolness and warmth spread from my stomach, I realized the water had some sort of rejuvenating effect. I had no explanation for this, but at the time, I didn't care. I was beginning to feel in the back of my mind the familiar tickling sensation that indicated a reality shift, so I swiftly scooped a few drops of the liquid into my pill bottles, shaking it through the remaining pills. The hotel cellar was lit up by a single spotlight and seemed almost completely bare, but for some dusty cardboard crates and a wine rack. Look, crates. Storage boxes, no doubt full of useless trinkets, were the only furniture. Look, rack. The wine rack was severely understocked. The hotelier had no doubt been meaning to refill it. Only 1 bottle remained, a dusty green one. We know Trilby doesn't like drinking. Saw no reason to take a drink wine. Couldn't do that just then. I took a swig of the beverage. Uh-oh. I took another pill. Okay. Everything's fine. The hotel kitchen was deserted and completely sterile. Whatever had happened to the staff, it had happened before they had started preparing dinner. Time to eat. Open fridge. I had no interest in the hotel's food storage. Damn it, Trilby. Hi! 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 This fucking startled me! No, don't do it! Great! Wonderful! Great! I'm so glad! Totally, truly thrilled. Oh, Terry, it's you. Have you seen Siobhan? I was about to ask you that. What did you do to the girl? I hope you don't intend to seduce her away from my service. Abed, I need you to understand. You, and I, and Siobhan are all in critical danger. There's something evil in this hotel, and it's closing and fast. Mr. Railby, I've been over this hotel several times. Apart from us, there's absolutely nothing here. Please keep your fairy stories in the playroom, where they belong. Okay. Think the hotel staff are just playing hide-and-go-peek with you? Look at a bed. Sure. Ask Abed about Siobhan. When did you last see her? After you left the dining hall, she popped in for a second to tell me she was meeting with you. So perhaps I should be the one asking you when she was last seen. The last I saw of her was in her room. I turned my back for a second and she was gone. She's a willful girl, all right. No doubt she's gone on another of her forest explorations. Speaking of, well, tangentially, ask Abed about Unicorn. Do you know anything about an inn called the Unicorn that possibly has a sign next to my ankles? Ah, you noticed my shingle. I picked it up as a curiosity at an antique fair a couple of years ago. Dates all the way back to the Elizabethan period, from what I understand, but I just can't find a buyer for the damn thing. Don't suppose you have any clients who might go for it? Possibly. Do I have your permission to examine it? Of course. I may have to touch it to assess the texture. By all means, do so. As long as you're not going to test its strength over your knee or anything. Can't swear to that. Okay. So, we're gonna test the strength of the save command right here. I'll see you folks later. It's been fun. It's been great. Yeah.